Welcome back to Arise and Shine. 2 nights ago, we joined our next guest at her wonderful star-studded benefit here in New York City. MacDella Cooper has been called Liberia's angel, and she's here to share how she's helping in the fight against Ebola. And welcome to the show.
We're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your background. I know you were born in Liberia and you fled the country in 1990 after the Civil War.
Yes, after the Civil War, I formed my way to the bordering country, Ivory Coast, and waited there 2.5 years and made my way to the U.S. after we got clearance to come to the U.S. to meet my mom for the first time after so many years.
Wow.
It was a really strange reunion. But we came to Newark, New Jersey in the projects, and it was a big cultural shock for me because, you know, growing up in Africa, you sort of watch movies and you learn about an America that has a lot of big white houses and picket fences, and the families are always very happy. And but Newark
and then Newark was the opposite.
And I thought, well, what is this America? Where is that America that I was seeing on TV? So, but yeah, it was great to be here in America. It was great to be away from the violence and the war and all the destructions that was taking place.
So when you came here, what was your direction? What were you like, this is what I'm going to be doing for my destiny?
Well, when I first came, I was really interested in fashion, and my mom, being this typical African mom, she said, there's no way you're going to major in fashion. So you're going to go to school, you're going to major to become in something that will maybe...
lawyer, doctor, engineer. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I have Indian immigrant parents too, so I get it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I looked in my college brochure and picked electronic communications. She didn't know really.
What's that?
Yeah, she said, oh, that sounds good. That can make a good conversation amongst her friends. So I did that, and immediately after, I of course, went into a different field.
Yeah, so tell us about after college then, what happened next?
While I was in college, I started doing some modeling around. You know, photographers, I used to call myself refugee thin. I was so thin as a result of the starvation during the war. We had no food for months and months and months. There'd be no food, but we would eat something little and we had to share it. And so my system just shrunk. I just became this very thin young woman. So photographers would ask me to do some work, and I did that. And after college, I was already plugged into the fashion industry in New York City, so I just moved here and started working for Ralph Lauren. And that was the career path I took.
Your pictures are so beautiful. We're looking at them right now.
Gorgeous. Can you tell us, please, about the MacDella Cooper Foundation?
The MacDella Cooper Foundation, while I was working for Ralph Lauren, I got some friends together. I was responsible, you know, I eventually left the front, I guess, of the camera and went behind the scene and started working corporate. And I got some friends together to help me out. I said, listen, you know, the conditions in my country really started to pull at me. It was really every day I was in this fabulous setting in New York, jet set in the world, going to all the major parties and scenes in fashion world and this and movie premieres and everything. I was doing that. I had a good life. But I could not erase the images that I had seen in my country. I could not forget the faces of the children. I could not stop thinking about those young teenage girls who I was lucky enough I didn't get raped. I didn't get you know, abused during the Civil War. But I just cannot stop thinking about those young women who are being raped every day, who are being used as sex slaves, who are being forced into lives that they never...
That they didn't sign up for.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's amazing that you didn't forget that. And, you know, you stayed true to your roots. And Rain and I had the honor of attending your fundraiser on Friday. It was an amazing event. We had so much fun. And, you know, your foundation is really working now to fight against Ebola. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
So let's go to the clip, actually.
Okay, let's take a look at our time there. We're here at the MacDella Cooper Foundation United Against Ebola fundraiser. We're so excited, right, Rain?
We're very excited. So come along, let's go along and see who we can meet and greet and see who's fighting against this terrible disease that's affecting West Africa.
First and foremost, MacDella is a long-time friend. Started off as a colleague. So what I was doing on my own in Sierra Leone, and she got very interested in actually donating to my mandates, and that's how the relationship started.
We're here with the amazing and talented Donna Karen and her granddaughter, Stefania. Thanks so much for joining us.
So you were a big part of tonight. Why was this so important to you?
Well, I think anybody who can accept the fact that so many millions of people are being killed by Ebola is unacceptable, and it must be ended.
We're here with Bonnie Young, who was such a big, important part of tonight. You had a fashion show out there. Tell us why you wanted to get involved in tonight's benefit.
Well, when I found out about the Ebola crisis, it really hit home, and I really was concerned for my children.
Tell me about that, because I thought that was so powerful that you had the children walking without their shoes on. What was that? What were you trying to show there? What was that trying to symbolize?
Well, there are some high-profile kids and celebrity children here, and they said that they would walk without their shoes. The kids in West Africa have no shoes. Kids in all of Africa
absolutely.
have no shoes.
We're here with Celia Babini. We like to keep it in the family here at Arise and Shine. Last weekend we interviewed her father, Luca Babini, and tonight your mother, Bonnie Young, was a huge part of the event. She had a fashion show
for young people.
Yes.
And designers. How come this evening is important to you? Why do you think this is important?
This is a really important topic, and I think that a lot of kids my age are not really involved in this topic as much as I think that they should be. So I think that I kind of need to set an example and be part of this topic.
We're here with Fundraiser, the amazing and talented Matilda on Broadway. She just performed. We were both just so amazed with you. Were you nervous performing in front of all those people?
Not really. I mean, it happens a lot. I mean, I get a little bit of butterflies in my stomach, but not really. Usually, a little bit.
We're here at Luca Babini again. We've had a long, incredible night. Notice our shoes off.
But the feet are beautiful.
Oh. What was it like to see your daughter perform today?
Not the first time, but
Yeah.
you know, she's born with a star on her head, so.
It's been such a successful night. We were so happy to run into you and meet the rest of your family. And
So from Arise and Shine in the morning. See ya.
goodbye.
That
Oh my
really
gosh.
was an incredible.
We had so much
yeah.
fun, and we heard so many great messages from all the people that we interviewed. Did you as well?
I've been getting endless number of texts and phone calls and emails, and people just saying how great of a time they had and what a great initiative and how can it help more.
So how far away are we, and we were having a little discussion before, from an actual cure for Ebola? How do we eradicate?
Ebola can never be eradicated. That's one thing we all have to understand.
Right.
But Ebola can be contained.
Right. So how far away are we from it, especially in Liberia?
You know, in Liberia, we might have a decent chance of really keeping the numbers low, but Ebola will always be in our society. Ebola will always be in our global universe, pretty much in our world. So now this is a great time for people to just conscious all the time, knowing that Ebola will never end. It's still amongst our friends. You never know who might have it. It doesn't recognize color or creed or gender or preferences. It does not, but Ebola will always be here.
And so the money raised from your event goes to?
We're going to do two things. We gave you a check to Doctors Without Borders because they are the medical side. I'm not a medical person. But after all these crises, there is always an after effect. There are a lot of kids left orphaned as a result of Ebola. During the Civil War, a lot of men in our society were killed. But now the women are being really killed by Ebola because they're the caregiver. Ebola became an epidemic for the world, but Ebola became an epidemic for women. Because women are the caregivers, and when someone is sick, they care and they contract it. Absolutely.
And I think it's so important for you to bring this message here. Some people feel like they're removed from it, but this really is a global issue, right?
Absolutely.
And what can people do if they want to support, the Ebola victims?
There are so many things people can do. People can donate their time to go in to help clean up where Ebola has been prominent. And people can also just help educate a child. The school system was shut down as a result of the Ebola virus in the 3 West African countries, Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. All of the schools remain closed. We initiated this cell phone education project, meaning we provide our child with a cell phone, all of the basic necessity of books, school supplies, I should say.
On the phone.
And provided teachers.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Every week we give these children food and an assignment for the week.
Oh, wow.
They return the assignment on Sunday, and they get their supplies of food and the new assignment for the week.
I think what you're doing is incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us, too, at your event the other day. Yeah.
And to join the fight against Ebola, go to MacDellaCooper.org. Thanks so much for being with us today. Keep up the good work. We'd love to have you back and hear more from you.
And coming up, we'll meet a man who has all the moves, especially on a chessboard. The first Black Grandmaster of chess will be with us, so stay tuned and check him out. Or checkmate.